Good morning. Good morning. Oh, sitting still. There we go. So much to do. This takes a second. Pretty day though today. Look. Pretty, pretty. Make a cappuccino. Make a cold cappuccino. Yes. Begin this day. I got the window cracked. And I did it for a long time. After last time when I went in the emergency room. Because I felt like I couldn't trust those people in that front office, boy. Whew. It will be nice when I don't have to work 7 days and nights a week. I'm so tired. But gotta get this stuff sold. Oh, cool. I can check my monetization. Sometimes I forget to turn the monetization on. Or I do it and then it flips off or something. Few markdowns here. Well, good morning. No, well, I don't know. I I was choking. I couldn't breathe all of a sudden because whatever they do up front, it fogs right back into here and all the other offices. And I was the only one back here yesterday. And they just don't think up there, you know. Um, but first of all, it was like toilet bowl cleaner or Drano or something, and then it was like maybe bleach or some cleaner or something. I mean, it just rolled on in here, and I barely made it to the window. I mean, I almost passed out. It was pretty bad, and there was no way I could make it down the hallway to the outside door. It was just really bad. Um, and uh, well, see, I told one of the guys that works here before, I said, look, if you guys are gonna spray or use any chemicals, please, let us know in the other offices, when you're gonna do it. Um, and one, because the way this was built, they took a building and they just put some fake walls in it or something. I mean, you know, the walls are like, ugh, let me see how thick this one is here. It's like, they're not very thick. I mean, I don't even think they have insulation in them. I think it's just board they put up to do the divisions. And, but, uh, you know, I mean, it's coming through, uh, the ventilation system. I mean, it just pumps it in. It's like being gassed. And then, I guess it just rolls through the walls, up under the floors, whatever. But it is so bad because this is all enclosed, and uh, they don't think about it. And I told the guy the last time when I went in the emergency room, I didn't want to hurt his feelings because he's a really nice guy. So I didn't tell him I had gone in the emergency room in Destin, but after I'd left, but so I got really sick. But I said, please let us know when you're gonna, spray or use chemicals. And I said, because it's really bad back there. And so, about 3 weeks later, I was up in the front office, and the lady took a can of Lysol or something and spraying it all over the wall behind her desk and said, "Does that bother you?" And real cocky like that. And uh, I mean, it's just strange. She's like covered like a 6 foot by 6 foot area just spraying away. And so I had talked to some of the other renters and stuff, and they were like, "Man, be careful. That's really bad. I mean, why are they doing that? Without notifying you guys?" And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, first of all, they have a really bad bug problem. And when I rented this office, before I even moved anything in, I had brought a bottle of Coke in, sat it on the windowsill because this place was a filthy mess. They wouldn't clean or anything, or paint or anything, or supply paint, or a big hole in the wall. 1/4 of the tile is up to raw concrete and stuff. And they were like, you have to pay a deposit. And I'm like, for what? Well, for damages. I'm like, well, it's already damaged. I mean, there's patches in the wall. It needs paint. You've got, like a 1 foot by 1 foot hole, or bigger, in the wall because I did some plumbing work on it. And then, the tile was up because apparently water leaked in the floor. And they never fixed that. So it was like all muddy and googy. But I set a Coke down, and the cockroaches were running. And I was like, man, you can't keep any food at all back there, because I mean the cockroaches are just terrible. And so, I had sprayed several times when nobody was on the property but me, and I was getting ready to leave. And because the bugs are so bad, the fire ants come from the outside walls. Man, I had days where I was just getting chewed up my feet because of the fire ants. And so, I got in the habit of spraying, like once a week, when I would close and leave and nobody else is around. Nobody's coming, because I would leave late at night. And, I wouldn't come back till the next day. And of course, I would air it out. I would open the window and open the door and air it out, and like mop the main hallway coming into the offices or whatever, with the door open and stuff. But I mean, it's a point of respect. I mean, if you're gonna risk people's lives, Mother of God, I mean, nobody could be that stupid. It's just beyond me. But anyway, so um, like yesterday afternoon, I guess 2 or 3, all of a sudden it's like Drano, you know, just I mean clouding, or maybe they mixed ammonia and bleach together or something. It was just like whoa. And man, I was like sitting here working on the computer doing price changes, and oh my god, I just all I had to do is make it 5 steps to the window, okay? And it's a big deal to open the window. It's got locks on it and everything like that. It's an old building, you know. But mother God, I thought I was going to pass out before I got to the window. And so that was just really bad. And I slid it all the way open. And it's such a waste because the air is running. You know, your air conditioning the outside. But yeah, so it was just horrible, um, all the way through evening, even after everybody else left but me. I still had to have the window open and keep going outside and opening the front hallway door and letting fresh air in. It was just terrible. Um, Whatever they had done, you know, I was like, man, did they spill a gallon of some caustic chemical or what? But just, I mean, really stupid. I could have died back here, and I don't know which was worse when the pesticide was being sprayed to one time or that. But the last one I ended up in the emergency room, and I was just too sick, you know. But pesticide is pyrethrins, and what it does is it penetrates the body of a creature, and I mean it goes through the nervous system and everything else, and it paralyzes it and suffocates it and kills it. And I mean it does that to humans too. But it's really bad. I mean my office is like they say it's 10 by 20. I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit smaller than that, um, but I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of brains to figure it out, to let people know or whatever. Other than the fact the ventilation system is controlled in the front office with a thermostat on the front wall by the door, and so nothing is measured back here. So if the front office, is you know uh, 65, back here is going to be 75 or 80. I mean, they just, and if you ask them, hey, please, I mean, when I first rented, this place was up in the 90s back here. And I had to keep coming out. I was about to pass out, and I would stand outside the building. And people would walk by and go, are you okay? I'm like, man, it's just freaking hot back there. I don't know why the air just doesn't work back there. And then a lot of times I just open the window, and then I was yelled at for having the window open, and that was the whole agreement when I rented this. We went round and round for 6 months, and I said, look, if I can't open the window, it's of zero use to me. I'm better off back working out of my storages, because I use chemicals sometimes, glues and stuff, and they need air, and I cannot use the chemicals because I mean it will go through the whole building. So I've got to have a window where I can open the window and work. So I was up here early one morning working on shoes, and I think it was like on a Sunday, and one of the other renters or something had called and said, "Oh, the office window is wide open," and I had a fan running to exhaust the fumes. I was working by the window, and so I mean, I don't want to breathe it, and I don't want it to go through the building. So anyway, they had called, and then come Monday, it was like I got all tore up about it because somebody called and said that somebody broke into the office and did it, and it's like, well, I don't know anything about your office. you know I wasn't paying attention to your office. He was like, well, the window was open, and I said, yeah, well, we went through that for 6 months, because at first you said the window never opens, and I said, well, then I don't need it. It's of zero use to me if I have no way to open the window, because I work chemicals sometimes. Now I can't use epoxy back here. I tried that one time, and oh, mother of God, did that on a Sunday when nobody else was around, and I was doing a test spot, just a tester, and it just fumed up in the building. And I was like, crap, roll the window open the door, and man, aired it out for a while. And I said, well, we won't do that again, because it's just too strong to do indoors. You've got to have a lot of ventilation, and you just can't do it indoors. It needs to be done outside. So I do all my epoxy work outside. But my other chemicals, using glues and stuff, I mean, if I use E6000 or something like that, I can use it here by the window with the window open, and it doesn't affect the other offices at all. Um, so I haven't glued anything in a while, but I used to do a lot of glue work when I first got my office. But um, you know, I'm respectful about it. Plus, I don't need to be breathing in it. Glue is really hard on your nervous system, and it's cancerous. So, you have to be really careful with it. But that was the whole agreement when I first rented, and she just blew a head gasket. And I said, no. Remember, we went through this round and round and round, and then we finally found out that the window does open. And that's when I considered renting it. Otherwise, it's of zero use to me. There's no sense in wasting the money, the additional money, if I cannot open the window because I can't get 3/4 of my work done, you know. So anyway, she got kind of quiet after that, and so anyway, yeah, but um, it's just it's you know it's really not safe. I mean, I couldn't believe the amount of chemicals rolling through here yesterday. I mean, I spent most of the rest of the afternoon outside the building, and I had this window all the way open and was opening the front entrance door and standing outside and then trying to go back in. I even put a fan up by the window to try to bring the fresh air in, but it just wasn't doing that much good because whatever somebody was doing up front, um, if they were cleaning or whatever the hell they were doing, and it could have been a mixture of chemicals. It was just really bad. It was really, really bad. Um, but I mean, how dumb is that? You know, you don't have to be a freaking engineer like me to know. I worked at a bar years ago, and they had this older guy that was the cleaning guy, and he would come in and he'd clean the bathrooms and he'd mop the floors and spray the outside of the building and stuff, and he was real clean, and he was a nice guy except when he got cranky, and um, but he was usually never like in my way or anything. And I was always real cheerful. I'm always overly cheerful to people who just keep the mode nice. Keep it positive. And this sucker come in, and we had customers at the bar, and it was Bucks Take Five out in Hawthorne, and uh, all of a sudden the dumbbell he gets a bucket and he pours some hot water in there, and then he gets ammonia and bleach and pours it in this bucket. You can't mix ammonia and bleach. It turns to a poisonous fog. I mean, it even says that, on the bottle and stuff. And so he would start mopping the entire bar, the front bar and the back pool room and all this stuff with that. And, I told him one day, I said, Bill, I said, that's really strong. And he said, well, you got to get it clean. He said, I mix ammonia and bleach together. And I was like, man, I read labels since I was a little kid. You can't mix ammonia and bleach together. And I'm standing there going, well, it's really strong, and the customers are complaining. That's what I told him. It's really strong, the customers are complaining. And he's like, well, it's got to be done. And he just grabbed his Navy mop and went mopping away, doing his thing. And it was just like, man. And every time he would pull that crap, wouldn't do it before the bar was open. Had to do it while we were in operation. And it was like, as soon as you saw him, it was like, man, if he gets that mop bucket, it's like everybody needs to go outside. Open all the doors. Oh, God, it was terrible. But yeah, some people just don't understand. The bad part is I don't have sense of smell. I taste it in my mouth. So, I usually don't even know it's around until it's just really bad. And wonder why they don't have better ventilation. Well, I mean, it was just a shady build. It was one big giant office, and they decided they'd make money if they cut it up. And they just did a cheapo, throw it up, throw some walls up kind of thing. And, you know, obviously it's not insulated and probably barely framed. Um, it's just, they just threw some walls up, you know. And, but, um, I mean, I don't even hang stuff on the walls. I'm afraid to put a nail in it, but, but yeah, they just took the existing old building and took a big giant office and cut it up and made little offices, and so they could make money with it, but then they never hardly rent because people don't want them. Um, because first of all, they're too hot back here. They're either just absolutely freezing or too hot, and that's because there is no like recirculation back here at all. Everything comes from the front office. So the only thing that we have in all these offices back here are vents. It's just like a house, and so the front, intake is in the front of the building. The thermostat is on the front wall by the front door, and that's only measuring the temperature of that room. And so, uh, you know, I've told them, I said, the thermostat needs to be moved to the center of the building so that it measures all the way around. And then two, they've got some kind of door that closes over the water heater, which uh, blocks off the back end of the building. So you don't really get a true reading of the entire temperature of the building. So that's another thing. I've told them, I said, well, I would open the doors by the water heater because, you know, there's a grill opening by the water heater on this side. And I thought it was the intake because when I first came, I thought, well, I want to check this filter because I'm a real freak about air filters on cars and houses, everything. And man, I pulled the grill off, then there's nothing there but a hole in the wall and a water heater. And I'm like, what the hell? So there's nothing. I mean, it's an illegal build, and it's really old, and um, they don't have the engineering mentality, I guess. um, but it just makes it really rough. That's why it can be 90 degrees back here, and up there it'll be 63. And then they're like, well, it'll be cold up here, it'll be hot up here if I change the temperature. And it's like, well, I mean, why are you renting offices if you can't, make sure that they're heat and air controlled? I mean, I don't like it really cold. Trust me, I am not an air conditioning person. But I don't like it extremely hot, and I am a heart patient. I don't need to be, in extreme heat. I boondock in my car, and I can't be in extreme heat. I have fans. I have 4 battery operated fans, big fans from Walmart. It cost me like 25 each. And it cost me a ton in batteries. I think it's like 8 batteries a unit. And 6 or 8 batteries. But I mean, plus I have 2 rechargeable smaller fans that are like 6-inch fans or something like that too in the car. But yeah, I mean, so but yeah, it's when I first rented, God, it was so bad. It was so friggin' bad when the summer started kicking in because it was always in the 90s back here. And when you complain, they're like, man, it's not possible. And I'm like, well, I bought thermometers for my whole office. And so, uh, I have digital thermometers from Walmart, $5 each. And I've got them in different spots in my office. Plus, I have two in my car. So I can check temperature in my car all the time, you know. And because, I mean, you die in 15, 20 minutes if it gets too hot in the car. So I have to watch the weather report every night before I go to sleep because the temperature starts escalating, after midnight, and sometimes you just can't sleep long because it's going to be too hot in the car. It's going to be 10, 15 degrees hotter in the car, even with the windows cracked. So you have to watch the temperature at all times, or you can die in about 15 minutes in a hot car. So. Listen to this idiot. No, we're not complaining about air filters, but if you had half a brain, you would have paid attention to the conversation. That's what I would think. Taylor Watson. There's always something that'll always be around as stupid people. Because the only way you can fix stupid is with the duct tape. You know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah, there was no filter in there at all, and unfortunately Taylor Watson was a little bit brainless there. Um, but yeah, it's just a big thing with a grill appearing to be, like an intake, and it's not. There's nothing there but just a hole cut in the wall with a grill that just falls out of there. He doesn't even screw in. And I mean, his grill's like 2 foot by 2 foot. So it's just a fake them out thing. But yeah, so it's poorly designed to have offices, but I guess that's a lot of the reason why a lot of them haven't rented or stayed rented, because it's problematic. um, it does get hot. One guy was telling me, man, my wife pisses me off, and we have an office in our house, and I was thinking of renting one of those offices. I said, well, they're okay. Except the point is that it gets really hot in the summer and really cold in the winter. And he was like, really? And he's like, well, that's no good. I said, oh, yeah. I said, it's been lots of times up in the 90s. I mean, for several months, it was in the 90s back here. And you can't put an air conditioning unit in a window. They blow a head gasket. Um, but, uh, and I can't do overhead fans at all. I wear contacts, so I have no way to do overhead fans. But yeah, so I don't know, but and see the problem is, we're at the spring, which is more like summer right now, and so it's hot. It's hot. I mean, we've had lots of 100-degree days. I mean, and it's going to get hotter. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm cooking away here. I got about 300 ads on one of my retail accounts, and the other one's got 100. And I'm still listing. I got to get this stuff listed and sold because I want to get relocated here pretty quick, and I can get some stuff sold and cut down on moving costs for sure. And that will be nice. Plus, we can always use those Benjamins, that's for sure. But I hope you guys are having a good day today so far. That's a pretty day. Wish I could run over to the beach real quick. Gotta work, I gotta work. Don't have a choice. A friend of mine out there, he can parallel park like a bandit. Amazing. And he was a tractor trailer driver for a while. And we were talking about California and the prices of rent and food. And I was telling him about the $14 French fries and stuff back home. He's like, $14? I said, yeah. It is so high. So I gotta fold all these shirts up, package those, get those knocked out. I run to a sale today, and got tons more to list. Tons and tons. Try to get this stuff all online and get it sold ASAP. Save me money for every piece and every day. This, I need to move this size. Well, what I need is a big giant box of Furbies. That would make the day right. Boy, here the people in the other office. I think 90% of the people in the world don't clean their ears. I don't think they realize how loud they are. Kind of funny. Not too bad as long as the damn music isn't rolling and screws up my YouTube. They claim that they'll run the music in the front office because they claim they don't want people to hear some certain things. The problem is when you play the music, then you got to talk louder over the music so you can really hear them then. Why not just talk softly? Then you might add a problem, or don't talk at all. And that'll really erase the problem right there. I don't know. People's mentality amazes me sometimes. So have you guys been watching that uh, living in the ghost town vlogs? I posted it the other day. It's pretty wild. But this guy buys this ghost town out in California, Cerro Grande, and or let's see, what is it, Cerro Gordo, and uh, it's kind of on the edge near Vegas, and it's right next to Mammoth. I think it's like an hour or two of Mammoth Lakes, and that's a very popular place for skiing. I have some very good friends that used to love to go up there all the time, and uh, he didn't pay crap for the place. He paid just a little over $1 million, and that's dirt cheap for anything in California. I mean, I don't think there's one house out there that's less than $1 million. But he's got like acres and acres, and he's like renovating it and stuff like that. But I guess he doesn't know anything about construction or anything else. A lot of the vlogs, it kind of reminds me of a 15-year-old child. I just go, man, you know. Um, but I mean, he's having a good time with it, and the place is looking pretty good, and um, it's interesting. It's really interesting, and he's doing a really cool job YouTube, and he got with, I guess it's Matt from Off the Ranch, and Matt did an interview of him real quick. He dropped by Texas, so he did an interview of him real quick, and neat interview. And he's like, everybody go sub him, you know. And so he didn't have that many subs when I subbed him, just like a week ago, and my gosh, he's at the 1 mil mark. It's amazing. So when you get up there to 1 mil and beyond, you're making money on YouTube. Trust me. Especially if you're doing live. If you don't do the live, you've wasted your time. That's a fact. And the live really gets a lot of attention, and I think people would rather interact with you, live, than they would just to watch a video. I think it's more of a personal thing when you go live. I got a lot of friends YouTube that just won't go live, and I'm like, man, if you, with the subs you got, go live, go live, go live. I got my other friends I used to tell to go live all the time, BB's Adventures, and they just didn't care. And then now it's like all they do is go live. They vlog, and go live, go live, and go live. They're banging away. And I mean, it's a big difference. But you will get a lot more subs if you go live, because you'll pick up people that are looking for something that's live right now. And if they enjoy you, they'll go ahead and sub you right there, and you'll pick up a lot. Sometimes people just want somebody to talk to. Make a new friend. I love that YouTube is what it is, because it's so much better than television, because it's very interactive. I think it's great, especially for the homebound people, There's some people that don't ever get out because of their health and whatever. And or taking care of a loved one, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. The YouTube with the live and interaction. I wish they'd have had it way back. If you get a Roku, you can sit around and watch YouTube. If you have internet, it's amazing. I'd rather watch YouTube than I would TV or an actual movie. I love seeing what these different creators are doing and real life experiences, true stories. It's really neat. $5. Let's see. I didn't get much sleep last night, that's for sure. I haven't had much sleep in like a week. It's not good. Two, three. Perfect. So, sprays. But I get it sold. This one could be changed. Seven. I guess somebody's happy. Some of these prices get cheaper and cheaper. It makes me wonder. I mean, how cheap can you go? It's so bad because the Orient has screwed us up so bad. They can take a gown that I handmade, copy it, and sell it for pennies on the dollar. The good news is I got all my bulk ink in. The printer's running, and I'm gonna dupe my website on paper, and then I gotta move it to another format. Finally, but because I can't move it into the new format like you used to be able to, because mine is expired for years, I have to copy it and build a whole new website. That's the bad part. So I gotta Xerox it all before it ends up being deleted, because I'm paying on something that just doesn't even really function. I mean, you can buy stuff on there, but there's stuff on there that needs price changes. There's stuff on there that is not available, and I can't even delete it off of there. No access. And I mean, they gave me a few months warning, you know, because there were going to be no more updating or anything. And then when I called them, they said, "Oh no, you can't even go in there to change stuff after that." I'm like, "What?" So I had 3 different options for new framework on it, but I haven't decided which one I want to go with yet. But I didn't want to make a move until I duped everything out of this original site first, because it'd be forever gone and it was so much work. Plus, I've got to record all the stuff that was stolen out of the storages. So a lot of it was listed on the site. Doody doo 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 you. Oh. Okay, here's where I need to go. Okay. Well, I've got to use my phone here in a second. So